All right, welcome to Maroon Sports Talk, December 17th, episode number 6. Brandon, one of our favorite times of the year, Christmas. You see the sweater, so we're right around the corner. But let's go ahead and wrap up our football, our last time talking about these great young men and the season that they had. They just got hit with a slew of awards, and they should have, being the state 5A runner-ups. But Class 5A awards, first team offense, Case and Brock, no shock. First team defense, Cohen Finley, Brian Ford, and honorable mention went to Will Adams. But I really think Will could have went both sides of the ball. He could have been offense and defense. And all-county team, I don't know if they put any other players on there from Southwestern or Somerset, because listen to all-county team. Brady Hull, Will Adams, Caden Carrier, Connor Blevins, Toby Wright, Winston Ford, Brian Ford, and Bryson Mounts.
Yeah, and you said it earlier, James. Just about every one of those names on the Class 5A and the county team, when it came down to it, when they got to the state championship, were playing both sides of the ball. Case and Brock was playing the secondary. Will Adams even playing a lot in special teams. I could go with Brady Hull also getting involved with the defense in his game.
The 5A offensive lineman of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys definitely all about the team. They were lost in the team, and you could see how far it went. And it was super awesome to see them get the keys of the city and all become Kentucky colonels, and how our judiciary court took care of them. Yeah, like you said, fine individuals here.
Well, you got a couple of defensive and offensive players of the year by the Commonwealth Journal,
Yeah.
so let's give them a shout out.
Commonwealth Journal's Defensive Player of the Year, Cohen Finley. And, of course, we saw Cohen, we might see later on for an Offensive Play of the Year going up and mossing people. I mean, his receiving skills on the ball, what he was able to do defensively, Cohen Finley, his power, his aggression, all year long, the team fed off of it, and it was good that he stayed healthy. Offensive Player of the Year by the Commonwealth Journal is Case and Brock. Case and Brock carrying the rock really well, averaging over 3 yards or more in that state championship game, which is what everything that you would want to draw up in a pregame for your team to get ready. I was super proud of our running game, super proud of our defense, our offensive and defensive line. Everybody, it was definitely a team effort.
You know, it's one of those things, Brandon, where I think you can agree with me. It's almost like Garth Brooks' The Dance. We're so glad we got to do it and go to Rupp and be up there and call that game, but we're sad to see it end because this group of seniors right here is up there among my all-time favorites because they're great guys to go along with being good athletes, but it's more important to be a good human being, and that's what they are. And I think Coach has done a good job of instilling that in them.
It was a great journey, like you said, and what I will always remember too, not only what they did on the field, was some of our teachers coming to us during the week and be like, look, I've been in other school districts and seen a lot with the student athletes. You don't see what we're seeing here with these guys coming to class like they do. Super proud of them on that side too.
Okay, let's transition over to men's volleyball, Brandon. It's time to start for them. Ladies volleyball's been over now for a little over probably a month and a half, but men's volleyball right now has open tryouts. Steve and Teresa Combs, great coaches. They're wanting you in there. Matter of fact, I think they're practicing right now today after school, and you can tell them the QR code information we're going to put on the screen.
Yeah, the QR code right here is on the screen. Please, guys, we need you if you're interested, if you at all are on the fence about this, come on out and see what it is that you can do. So like you said, Steve and Teresa have been around for a while. Not only do they teach the game, do they teach the fundamentals the correct way, they can grow and develop you as a player. And so why not? Come out and have a good time. These guys have a good time.
Hey, Steve and Teresa, without him saying you're old, he politely said you're old. They've been around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, he's saying you're experienced and you're good coaches, and I agree. We kid because we love. Okay, next let's go over to our next subject that we love covering is girls basketball. This girls team is special, Brandon. We've got some results here, and then we'll break them down. But a lot of games since our last broadcast. They beat Casey County 69-48. They beat E-Town 83-70. Then they had that huge win on Tuesday night over Rock 67-66. So let's back it all the way back up to Maroon Sports Network, and let's discuss the Casey County game.
The Casey County game, it was all Maroons. Really, the game got off to a little sluggish start, had a couple of players foul out there at the very end. If you go back and watch it at halftime, we saw it too. Coach Miller was not happy going into that locker room. Anything that you would want to have done and kind of cemented in that first half, they wasn't able to. Second half was much better execution, very fluid. They decided to pound the rock inside the Bella Stevens. Good things happened, and then they came away with it. But Casey County was scrappy, man, for that first half, making it a game.
Casey County was a lot better than I anticipated. They hung with us and traded blow for blow in that first half. And Coach Miller, I don't know if that's a 2 or 3 point game at halftime, but to come out and win by 21. But like you said, he was literally still in the locker room as the horn was going off.
Yeah, we
so,
were.
But he got their attention.
He
got their attention.
Yeah.
And Ewan Woodcock did a great job on the call. Yeah. Game number 2, we didn't get to see, but we heard a lot of feedback. The E-Town game they played the very next day. So they played Friday night, then they played Saturday, beat E-Town 83-70. A lot of news in that one.
I believe it was Mercer. Was it played at Mercer
yes.
County? Was that right? So definitely got a little chippy down when it came down to it, and some calls were made. We were down a player this week, and we're going to be down a player tomorrow because of it. But have no fear, good news is right around the corner.
Well, we got to say, big time, Thomas. We love you, and things happen, and definitely what the girl did to you was not right. Maybe you could have done it in a better way to respond to it, but in the heat of the moment, it's one of those things, and it gets the best of you sometimes. And your girls picked you up, got a big win at Rock, so we'll transition over to that now. So Rock Castle game, 67-66, got down 8 points early, Brandon, and then sort of took off. So what changed after that early deficit?
I don't know, but a district game on the road, James, and you're down a player, a starter nonetheless, and a senior, and to go on the road with a big atmosphere that they had for a doubleheader set up and to beat them like you do, and this was a team that was a region runner-up. Very well coached team when you have Taylor King, McKinney, and of course Spivey on that team coming back.
Yes.
So a lot of talent. But we're going to give a shout out later to this. But to come away with a win on that and not play your best basketball, you got to be happy.
I was watching Madeline Butcher. Was watching game film, and I watched them almost triple team her in the backcourt, and she beat a triple team and pulled up and shot a 3 off the dribble and nailed it to start that comeback. And so I don't know if she had 7 or 8 threes or what she had for the game, but the whole girls team and Coach Miller shot out all their praises. So obviously it's a team effort for that. But great job, girls. Looking forward to beating Somerset tomorrow night. Now we'll switch over to boys basketball. So boys basketball's had a bunch of games. Matter of fact, Fraley, I think, did back-to-back games last week. So on Thursday night, they beat Russell County 67-64. They beat Casey County 68-21. They beat South Oldham 71-63 on Saturday. So that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then Tuesday had to turn around and beat Rock. I think it was 68-58, I think was the Rock total.
Listen, our teams that won the region, James, in the past, to have this quick of a turnover wasn't able to do what these guys did right here. Now that's saying something. To go on the road at Russell County is always a sneaky game. And
Brandon Cooper's a really good coach.
Yeah, to come away and win that was crazy. But we got to see him live against Casey County, and it was just an absolute onslaught. I wish, James, you could have seen James Benner's face before we brought him on after the game. He was just like, "What, me? You're going to have me?" It was great. But I mean, these young guys in this core, they've all bought in, and look what's happened. These guys are playing really good defense. They're rebounding the ball. Their energy's good. They like each other. The camaraderie's there. Look out throughout the region. I love it.
Listen, that's been probably one of the greatest things. It's early, and I don't want us to peak too early because we've done that before, but John's done an amazing job with that group of boys. And I feel like we're starting to peak real early in December, but I'm hoping the bar just keeps going higher because we keep talking about Tanner Apsher's really came on.
Yes.
At the first game of the year, Madison Central, I remember him with 2 points. Now you go look at it, and he's double figures every night now that you're putting out there for the growth. So I'm going to break down some stats real quick. Against Casey County, Brandon, we had 13 players that scored. All 13 that checked in the game scored in that game. And you only had one player in double figures, and that was Carson Fraley with 13. And everybody else was between 2 and 8 pretty much. South Oldham was a big win. They were down 36-32 at halftime and come back and won that by 8. In that game, Tanner Apsher led all scores with 17. Blake had 14. Cam had 13. Nish had 11. And Carson had 10. 5 in double figures, dude.
See, I love that. When you got Cam and Nish kind of splitting there up there with Blake, Blake's look like he's coming on. He's getting more confidence in his jump shot. I love it for that young man and this team. I can't say enough about them. They just make me so happy to watch. They're fun to play.
And then Russell County, they were down 32-31 at the half, 167-64. Tanner had 16. Nish had 14, including 4 threes. Cam had 14. Carson had 11. The only knock I got about the team so far, they're getting lucky. They were 10 for 20 from the free throw line, so we got to really
Gotta
pick
connect
that
on
up in a
those,
close game because tomorrow night will be a close game at Somerset. We do know that.
Well,
So it could come down to free throws.
Absolutely. Tanner even talked himself after that first broadcast we did with them. He's like, it was the defense, and he said it 3 times, defense, defense, defense with his teammates. And I think, you know what, the message is being sent. Coach Fraley and the Maroons basketball team, come out and watch them play.
Next, let's switch over to archery, a little sport that we don't talk about that much, but it could be one of our very best sports at Pulaski County High School right now. I got the pleasure of talking to Kim Worley. Kim Worley had to come in and set up his scanner in Coach Benny Blanton's office. They're shooting tomorrow night and all day Saturday if you get free. He said our primary shooters are going to shoot at 11 and 3. So I may try to come by and see some of our shooters in action. But Brandon, we'll give some shout-outs. I'll give some shout-outs to the males, and you can give some shout-outs, if I can speak, to the females. So as we go and look at this, they played 2 tournaments. First place at Rock, top 6 high school males and top 10 females were all on our team for that shoot. And then they had a bigger shoot at Wayne County, and we placed first place as it as well. Gavin Morrison shot a 286, Mason Hayden a 283, Braden Riley a 280, and Caden Smith a 279. That is stout.
Wow. At Wayne County, also for the females, first place, Izzy Foister shot a 278, Amber Gross shot a 277, and Abigail Osborne with the 271. I tell you what, the tradition, you were right, James, that we have in archery here was having some of the best shooters in the state consistently for a while. That's amazing. They do a wonderful job, and that goes to show these young people are doing some great things.
Yeah, Coach Worley is talking about they can mostly put every one of their shots within probably a nickel or dime radius into the bullseye. So you talk about talent.
Confidence.
That's a lot of breathing and confidence and all the stuff that goes into that. But tomorrow, Friday and Saturday, Brandon, there are going to be 15 teams here. So if he can win this 15-team invitational, that's going to really put a stamp in that and shoot them up the rankings for that. But looking at these males and females that are shooting 270 to 290 ranges, we're going to be the team to beat, in my opinion.
Listen, I have confidence. If you put a piece of fruit on my head, I wouldn't have it with anyone else to shoot it, but I would with them if they're able to do that.
Maybe we can do that as one of our next Maroon minutes out there. We can
Talk
practice
about how
that up
scared
there.
I would be with that. Are you kidding
You
me?
volunteered right there.
There you go.
Okay, let's switch over now to a little known thing that we have here for esports. Our man Connor DeBoer shocked the world and beat the #1 ranked player to make it to the state tournament. Then he made it in the semis and he won again.
Wow.
So now he's playing for the state championship, and ultimately he fell a little bit short, but there's nothing wrong with finishing second in the state tournament.
State runner-up for playing video games. I love it. That's a big deal. There's a lot of money in esports. I don't think people realize just quite how much. But, man, that's great recognition and great play for my man Connor. Getting it done. That's awesome.
What I want to say is the guy he lost to, Brendan, actually finished runner-up last year. So the guy come back with all this experience and a little bit of extra motivation, hopefully like our football team is going to do to be one step short. But they should go show you. So we do have news for them. So I want you to read that line right there.
Wow. Don't play this man. That's a big message sent by my man Connor. Madden NFL 26.
Madden NFL 26. Do not play Connor DeBoer unless you want to lose.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I can't imagine.
Okay, next we'll switch over, Brandon, to our top 5 Christmas movies since we're doing a Christmas special. So you're going to do the odds and I'll do the evens again, and then let's start out. And it's going to be controversial, but that's the fun part about it. It's our list, and ours may be different from yours, but these are the movies we enjoy.
Tough list, really, really hard to go around. If I was to do this list 20 times, it would be 20 different arrangements. It's really hard to come up with. Let's start with number 5. This movie has got some stories from behind the scene that's built over the years, but over the years, James, it's sent a solid, rich tradition since the early 2000s of its arrival, and that's Will Ferrell with Elf coming at you. Of course, so there's some great lines in that, just playing the fish out of water. It's definitely rewatchable. It gets me every single time when he's walking to the Empire State Building. He gets nailed by that taxi driver. Every time, I never see it coming, but it's just great. Will Ferrell's comedy lasts, but that movie's got some charm to it that I think it's going to make it another 20, 50 years.
I don't know why I enjoy just watching him eat spaghetti and syrup or molasses with the spaghetti. And it just cracks me up.
You could see a lot of ideas for. You could see a lot of ideas for what was it? Brothers, Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Definitely come from that movie. Stem from it for sure.
Okay, number 4, we're going to go to an oldie but a goodie. If the young pups haven't watched this, you need to, because it plays 24 hours in a row, either on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. But it's a Christmas story. So anymore, we are so enamored with all the stuff that we have. It was much harder in the 40s and 50s to get your presents and get them delivered. You went into a department store and picked it out as you showed in the movie. But just Ralphie in that movie and everything that goes on. And kids don't understand about washing your mouth out with a bar of soap if you say a curse word. So we might need to bring that back to today's youth.
Oh, that movie is so great. Plays for 24 hours on Christmas Day. Right now, as we're filming it, it's playing downtown Somerset at the Virginia for $2 tonight. I'm going to have to sneak over there and go get it.
I've got to do that soon for the Virginia. It's too good a deal. I want to go watch The Godfather or Scarface or something.
Yeah, it's still the same. It's a great feel. But that movie has got so much to it, especially when you're starting to watch it through the eyes of a child. I got to meet the actor that plays Ralphie in Louisville years ago. He's great. Also, he has a cameo in Elf.
Wow, we should. If I knew you met him, we would have boosted up the movie rating. Okay, number 3 over to you.
Number 3. Oh, I remember when this movie came out, James, and it's amazing that it stood the test of time, but it has. And I even remember just lining up with my cousins and everyone, and they would count our heads from that scene from the first one. But Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin, he even has a great Instagram photo up right now of his wife and kid, and he dressed his kid up in his garb from the movie as himself, which is a great shout out right there. But yeah, this movie, it gets better and it gets better and it gets better. But early, like 1991, 1990, Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone, you got to watch it.
I just saw a Facebook post about that. In the house, they've completely redone the interior now, and it's like quiet and everything. I wouldn't have touched it. I would have left it exactly the same. Because to me, that would have been priceless with the people wanting to come over and see that house too. And I know they want to be left alone, but still, what a great movie. I love the Michael Jordan life-size poster. Yeah. So going around through there on the train tracks.
What you did, you little jerk.
But Joe Pesci was so good.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
So now we'll jump over to number 2. And kids, you need to go back old school to watch this because It's a Wonderful Life takes us back in, the 1920s. And really gets the meaning of Christmas when you're going to fight for your country overseas and not knowing if you're going to come back home or not. And maybe not realizing what you have, always thinking the grass is greener, and all of a sudden you lose everything that you have and realize how blessed we are, Brandon. And I think that's the true meaning of that movie.
I just thinking about that movie and hearing you say that can bring me to tears. But Jimmy Stewart's performance is unbelievable, and it really does. It taps into that symbiote of what Christmas is all about. And I love that. If you're able to pause and watch that, it's absolutely wonderful. Also gets better and better each time you watch it.
Okay, number 1, you and I agree. I watch this probably at least 3 or 4 times every Christmas, but dude, to me, it is my go-to.
Chevy Chase's facial expressions, how he is able to master just that and not even say anything in some things is really good. But you know what? As funny as that movie is, what gets me is when he's alone in the attic and he's watching the Christmas movies and just for a brief moment in his hustle and bustle life where he's go, 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 go. He's got the in-laws in the house, the chaos that's transpiring, and he's able to pause. And that movie taps into it too a little bit. I mean, as funny as it is, it's got some charisma to it, absolutely. Chevy Chase is wonderful.
You know what I like too? When the sister has to share the bed with the brother, and that's so gross, the brother and sister sharing the bed because all your family's there. But you go back and see it from the child's perspective, that's the way you see it. But you get a little bit older, you're like, man, I really miss my grandma or my grandpa or my great uncle or whatever it is. I miss those times. And so I think kids need to reflect on that. And I talk about that at Thanksgiving too. If you've got more than one place to go to, be thankful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the little sap. Really cool. Little Sap. Really, a lot of fun.
The magazine.
Little Sap, yeah.
Get his lives there. Oh, my God. It's
great lines in that movie. But, yeah, that's a tough list. Honorable mention, I got to go with the original Grinch Stole Christmas. Watched that the other night, and I just remember where I was as a child growing up and having to wait for it to come on television. Just little things like that. Of course, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman. I mean, gosh, there's so much out there. Folks, if you're Maroon fans, if you're able to take a moment and just watch a little bit with your family, do that and have that moment. You'll remember it the rest of your life.
All right, let's go over to Foister and Murray's Athletes of the Week. Brendan, this is a tough call because we've got so many, and hopefully we can give a shout-out to so many of our great athletes. So I'm going to start on the boys' side and let you do the girls, and we'll flip-flop next time. But the boys, to me, is tough. Because I go and look at all these different stats, and I know more than basketball right now, but that's what the most games are played each week. So eventually, hopefully, we can honor an artist or a wrestler or somebody else. I'm going to go in this one. Tanner Apsher is going to be my honorable mention, along with Cam Measle, because they're going to get there at some point in time, I think. But you and I talked about this just a few minutes ago. Carson Fraley is going to be my male athlete of the week because he's one of those unsung heroes that I consider the best passer in the 12th region. His vision and his basketball IQ, if you had a scale of 1 to 10, he's a 20 on those things. And so talking about that big win at Rock, Rock's got a really good player, and he was lights out against us in the first half, and we had to go over Walker. And then we had to put Walker Craig and had to put Carson on him. He scored 2 points in the second half with Carson face guarding him.
He just gets to work, man. He's been around for a while, and I hated it for him for so many years. He couldn't catch a break due to the injuries and everything. And here he is in his senior session. He just straps it up and he goes to work. But absolutely, Carson Fraley.
Okay, now to the female athlete of the week. Can we agree on this one?
Yeah, to go on the road in an environment like that, in a district game, and it's still kind of early in the season, to that, what is awaiting you, and that kind of crowd and everything that's going on. Got to give it up for the senior leadership and the point guard of Madeline Butcher to lead that team. Of course, it's a team effort. Those ladies have bought in, and Bella Stevens she's starting to click, and Hannah Murray is getting it done on both sides of the ball. But Madeline Butcher to lead that. If you could go back and watch her interview with us after the Casey County game, she's very, very with it, and she's basically just knows the assignment. And she's talking about that leadership every day that she's bringing into practice in the game. So to win on the road like that is big time.
You know, one thing, and I think the players enjoy it, but I love those post-game interviews you give with the kids.
Yeah.
You give them shout-outs for them. That's one of my
fun.
favorite parts of the broadcast,
So
along with
fun.
the 94 feet that we do.
Oh, we're able
for-
to have
for
a
halftime.
conversation down there now. It's so fluid.
I love it. Let's do a Maroon closeout. And Brandon, on this one, usually it's the best thing we saw the prior week. But since we're going to take about a 3-week break before we do another one of these, I'm going to do something that's going to be the best thing I'm going to see tomorrow. And you see it firsthand here in the classroom. We've got 104 presents that we're taking to Shopful. So my wonderful FBLA officers have arranged all this, and I had a lot of help wrapping presents from various people. But I want to give a shout out to all the athletes that actually have jumped in on board on this particular one.
Awesome.
And I might have left somebody out, but listen at this list of people who are not been in FBLA but got involved with community service just because I asked them to make a difference this year. So I want to give shout outs to Jet McEwen and Boone Gobby and Caden Carrier and Brian Ford and Colton Kane and Camden Fraley and Will Adams and Maddie Butcher and Hannah Murray and Anna Ross and Graham Hamilton and Riley Ross, Caroline Heist, Malia Bullock, Brooklyn
Wow.
Sandlin, Michaela Dick, and I probably forgot a few.
That's awesome. You know what? As stressful as everybody can be, because students have finished up finals this week. Grades are oppressing you. To get anything done at this time of year, because you're go, 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 when you start putting yourself in the back seat, and you can go before kids in our own district, and you're able to do something, it changes you. And I'm so proud of this initiative. I'm so glad of everything that it represents, of that's good and wonderful in a tough, tough world that we live in. I would say, folks, gosh, come and get involved if you want to, because that's what it's all about, giving back.
All right, at this time, we want to go ahead and conclude. So we want to thank all of our sponsors. We'll put the graphic on the screen. I know we give more shout outs to some of them, but every one of them is equally as important.
Yes.
We couldn't do it without you. So that helps us run this student-led production. And ultimately, you just need a little money to feed the kids occasionally, and that's what we like to do. And they do a great job. So shout out to everybody on the Maroon Sports Network, and the lovely Miss Jasmine Whitehead doing the audio and recording us today,
Absolutely.
and Gavin Van Hook going to do all the editing, and then Tom Hemmons going to put the finished piece together.
It's a team effort in Maroon Sports Network, but everyone, you all are so awesome. I hope you have a wonderful and Merry Christmas. May God bless you.
See you in January.